How's it going, everybody? I'm the BTC Reaper, and my goal on this channel is to teach you how to reap the rewards of trading, whether price is going up or down. SEC sues TERA Labs and founder Do Kwon for securities fraud. The U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission on Thursday charged Singapore-based TERA Labs and founder and CEO Do Kwon with securities fraud involving its algorithmic stablecoin TERA USD and the Luna token. The complaint filed in the U.S. District Court for the Southern District of New York charges the defendants with violating the registration and anti-fraud provisions of the Securities Act and Exchange Act. We allege that Terraform and Do Kwon failed to provide the public with full, fair, and truthful disclosure as required for a host of crypto asset securities, most notably for Luna and TERA USD, said SEC Chair Gary Gensler. We also allege that they committed fraud by repeating false and misleading statements to build trust before causing devastating losses for investors. SEC's charges come nearly a year after the collapse of Terra Luna, which brought on the year-long crypto winter that saw many prominent companies, including FTX, Celsius, and Three Arrows Capital, fail last year. For those of you that might not have been around, this was the beginning thing that broke all these things. After this, we saw Celsius go bust, and Three Arrows Capital, and FTX, and it just snowballed from here. According to the SEC's lawsuit, the agency accuses Terraform and Kwon of raising billions in investor funds from April 2018 to May 2022 by offering and selling an interconnected suite of crypto asset securities, many in unregistered transactions. The SEC claims Terraform Labs and Do Kwon marketed crypto asset securities to investors seeking to profit from investing in TERA USD and related TERA products, claiming that the tokens would increase in value. As alleged in our complaint, the Terraform ecosystem was neither decentralized nor financed. It was simply a fraud propped up by a so-called algorithmic stablecoin, and the price of which was controlled by the defendants, not any code. Gubri R. Gruwal, director of SEC's Division of Enforcement, said in a statement. SEC also alleges that while marketing the Luna token, Terraform and Kwon repeatedly misled and deceived investors that popular Korean mobile payment application used the Terra blockchain to settle transactions that would accrue value to Luna. Finally, the regulators assert that Terraform Labs and Kwon misled investors about the stability of UST. Our second bit of news, Japan announces its launch of new CBDC pilot this April, and there's a little bit more than just Japan in here. The Bank of Japan has announced plans to roll out new pilot for its central bank digital currency program in April. The bank does not expect any actual transactions to take place among participating users. Instead, only simulated transactions will be settled during the pilot as per the announcement. The bank will look to test both the CBDC's technical feasibility, which wasn't possible in previous trials, as well as to learn more from private businesses about how they're using the digital currency. The trial will also explore the technical challenges of connecting the experimental CBDC network with existing financial networks and determine the appropriate data models and architecture for facilitating online payments. The Bank of England and the UK Treasury recently unveiled a new consultation on implementing a Bitcoin which expects could be in use by late 2020s. The UK has been working together on a digital pound since at least April 2021, when an official task force was formed. In September, Australia also announced its intention to move forward with its plans for a CBDC pilot, which would be called EAUD. According to research from Bank of America, around 114 central banks, representing 50% of all countries, are now exploring CBDCs. So, half of all banks in the world, a little more, are looking at CBDCs, or at least the central banks. CZ denies Binance is considering delisting tokens from US projects. There's a little more than just that in this article. Binance CEO Sheng Zhao has spoken out regarding news reports that the company will cut ties with U.S. crypto projects. In a later tweet Friday, Zhao, better known as CZ, wrote false in a response to posting claiming that Binance was considering delisting all US-based cryptocurrencies. He then added that blockchain has no borders when someone asked what a US-based token even was. The post was referring to a Friday Bloomberg report which claimed that Binance, the world's biggest crypto exchange, was thinking about ending relationships with US business partners such as banks and intermediary firms. Jeez. Just having problems talking today. Just this week, news dropped that Binance would likely pay fines to settle SEC investigations. The regulatory body is investigating the exchange, as is the Justice Department, over potential violations of U.S. anti-money laundering laws. Binance doesn't provide services to Americans, but has a sister company called Binance US, which the global company insists is run independently. No more on that in a bit. Yesterday, a Reuters report claimed that around $400 million in cash from Binance US mysteriously flowed to a trading firm managed by CZ in early 2021, once again raising suspicions regarding the American company's independence. According to Reuters, then Binance US CEO Catherine Collet called the transfers unexpected at the time and asked for an explanation. Collet would leave her role as CEO months later. Pretty suspicious. Former Coinbase General Counsel Brian Brooks, who was at one point the top banking regulator in the U.S. as acting comptroller of the currency, took over as Binance US CEO after Corley, only to leave 3 months later, citing a lack of independence from CZ, according to reports. FTX warns of fake debt tokens trading on exchanges. The restructuring team overseeing the FTX bankruptcy today warned investors could be on the lookout for a scam token that aims to take advantage of the collapsed cryptocurrency exchange's troubles. The FTX debtors remind stakeholders to be on the alert for scams from entities claiming to be affiliated with FTX. The FTX debtors have not issued any debt token, and any such offers are unauthorized. While FTX did not mention a token by name, the subject of FTX's warning is likely a new token called FTX Users Debt, or FUD, listed on Justin Sud's Huobi exchange on February 7th. The token hit a high of 80.13 the day it launched and has since fallen to 15.73. The token only trades on Huobi and only trades against two stablecoins, USDT and USDD. So on to the charts. Over on the day, wow, we are getting quite the move right now for tomorrow's candle already. But over on the daily, we did have another touch to 25k. Oh, our candle's above here. We did get another touch to 25k. However, we did kind of fall back under this resistance. We did close above the resistance. So now it is hopefully going to become support with this next candle. Our stochastic's kind of curling. It's overbought. That's just being in a strong zone for the RSI. It could curl down. If it starts to curl down and make a bearish cross pretty aggressively, then I'd be concerned. The VWAP is starting to come down, which is a little concerning, and the momentum wave is kind of tapering off, which is slightly concerning, but our money flow is starting to come back up, which is a good sign. Over on the 4 hour, you can see our momentum wave is starting to come back up. We did get a green dot a few candles ago. Our VWAP's kind of flat though, which is a little concerning. Our stochastic is kind of bending at the neutral zone. We're going to want to see that break the neutral zone and start to get in the bullish zone. Our money flow did kind of come up a little bit here as well, so that's another positive sign as we were tapering down like this. So we are seeing a little bit of slight positive movement now. Over on the 2 hour, you can see our momentum wave is pretty similar to the 4 hour, but it's kind of going up a little more, not kind of tapering as much. Our money flow is coming up here as well, and our VWAP did start to come down. However, it's kind of flattening out, so it might start to rise up from here. We'll have to kind of see what happens. Over on the 15 minute, it looks like we might get a short-term peak down. If we look, we'll talk about this pattern in a second. We are above this pattern. We could come back down, retouch and retest it. Our stochastic and our RSI are both in the bullish zone, and our momentum wave is coming up pretty strongly, and our money flow for the long-term trend is in the bullish zone. So if we look at the 2 hour, we do have an ascending triangle that we had based off of yesterday's candle. This is start of tomorrow's candle, which looks like it wants to break out already. This is also a bull pendant. A symmetrical triangle, for those of you that don't know, is a 50-50 pattern. It has a chance to break up or down, just as even. You take half of its width to get the triangles break down. That would be 23.3. You'd also do the same for the break up. However, we are also in a bull pendant because we had to rise up and then we formed this symmetrical triangle. That's known as a bull pendant. The bull pendant could take us up to around the 27K level. So let's look at XRP and our altcoins now. XRP got a pretty strong move up from this pump that we got today. Our momentum wave is coming up, so that's a positive sign. Our VWAP kind of crossed bearish, so that's a little concerning, but it's not too strong, so it wouldn't take much for it to roll back up if the lower time frames are looking alright. Over on the 4 hour, our money flow is still coming down overall, which is kind of concerning. Our momentum wave is coming down, so that's kind of concerning. And our stochastic is around this neutral area, so if it breaks the 30, that'd be concerning as well. If we look over at the 2 hour, our VWAP is was coming down pretty aggressively. However, it's kind of lost a little bit of steam to that drop. If it can flatten out and kind of curl back up, that would be a positive sign. We did come up and then we showed a reversal arrow here, so we could come back out and fall back down. That does signal that we could have a trend reversal. We were moving up, so a reverse of that would be coming down or possibly just going sideways sometimes. If we take a look at algo, we're back in our rising channel. That's a weird looking gap. Our money flow is coming up, so that's a positive sign. Momentum's coming up pretty strongly. Our VWAP's kind of flat, so we want to see that start to pick up. Our stochastic's about to make a bearish cross, but right around this neutral area too, so we might touch the neutral area, bounce off, and come back up. As long as we don't break the neutral area, then we still have bullish momentum on our stochastic. Over on the 4 hour, our stochastic's coming up, our momentum wave's coming up, our VWAP's coming up, our money flow is somewhat still coming out, so that's slightly concerning that the money is coming out. If we look at the 2 hour, we're getting a reversal arrow here again. We did get a drop, and then we just kind of gone sideways. So it's possible we just go sideways, then we get an explosive move up, and this reversal arrow doesn't do much. Our momentum wave, our money flow, is coming up, so that's a bullish sign. Our VWAP did come down and it's starting to head up, so that's a positive sign, and our momentum wave is heading up. Our stochastic and RSI are both pretty strong, so we have some pretty decent signals on the 2 hour for algo here. So we're looking pretty good on the lower to medium time frames, so hopefully those can continue to propel the higher time frames forward. Thank you for watching tonight's video. I hope you have a wonderful night.